Okay, let's get going. See how many slides we got today?
No, I don't think.
What does it say? There's 10. And this is number 2, and the last 2 are always this slide and homework. So it's actually like 6, right? So it's not a long lesson, but we don't have a lot of time, so that's the way we like it. So the one thing to keep in mind, this is just the second part of the order of operations, is that if there's a fraction bar, that is essentially grouping everything on the numerator and everything in the denominator together. It's kind of like implied parentheses that are there, but you don't see them. And the other thing, which you guys seem to know already pretty much, is fraction bars mean division, right? That's another way to say division, probably like almost the only way we're going to say that after this first lesson or two. So who remembers, let's see what you got. Who remembers in the calculator, how do you find the fraction format? What are the steps for finding fraction? Ava? Ava? Yeah, what are the steps? Alpha y equals 1. Alpha y equals 1. So actually, if without that, when you put things in the calculator, you need parentheses. You need to follow this. If you use the fraction format, then it's actually already putting those in there. So remember. Okay. So evaluate. Again, what does it mean when we say evaluate? Plug in that value for x. Okay. So what is that going to look like? That's going to look like. That's going to look like 9 times 4 divided by 3 times 4 plus 2. So evaluate again, plug in. Okay, now we have to simplify. You know, based on what we just saw on the last slide, it's kind of like there's implied parentheses here, right, and here. Matter of fact, you could rewrite it like this. We could write it like this: 9 in parentheses, 9 times 4 divided by 3 times 4 plus 2. And then looking at it like that, what would you do first? In the second one right here. I mean, you might go to the inner parentheses, right? So maybe we would write it like this: 9 times 4 divided by 3 times 6. Okay, then what would you do? 9 times 4 is 36, and divided by 3 times 6, which is 18. 36 divided by 18 is 2. And you don't have to write it out like that. You know, we would have just done like this: 36 divided by 3 times 6 equals 36 divided by 18, which is 2. In either case, it's 2. Okay. So you try. Evaluate when y equals 8. What did you get? Okay, so we evaluate, so we show the step. Again, if there's a problem like this on the test, make sure you show you plugged in 8. I mean, that will count for something, and it'll count against you if it doesn't, if you don't have it. 8 squared minus 3. Now, order of operations wise, tells you to do what first? 8 squared, which is 64, minus 3 equals 61. Everybody got 61? Kind of a trivial exercise. I think I got another one here. Try that one. Let's see, where's my seating chart? So, about Evan, what'd you get? 8? Don't think so. You said 3? 3? How many said 3? 3 is the answer. Okay. So 12, plug in the 8, show it, and then which operation are you going to do next? Do you have a question? Okay. Just a second. Okay, John, next step. And what is 12 minus 8? 4. So then we still have 4 minus 1, which is 3. You know, I guess, and this is a different problem, okay? This is a different problem, but this is where I see mistakes get made on this exact kind of problem. And that is when you see something like, what if it was 12 minus y plus 1, and then you substituted the 8 and you said minus 8 plus 1. And I've seen a lot of students at that step, they try to add those two and say that that's 9. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and say that that's 9 and subtract. In this problem, that wouldn't be correct, right? So that minus is only affecting that term. It doesn't affect anything that comes after. So be careful you don't do something like that. Right, so this one here, in fact, it wasn't an issue. Okay, another. You try, this time you do have fractions involved. Evaluate when y equals 8. That's right. That's good. What is 81 divided by 9? What does that say? That's a 9. It's kind of trailing off there. That's okay. Okay, what was the answer on this? 9. Should have been 9, right? I substitute two places. 10 times 8 plus 1 divided by 8 plus 1. Okay, now in the numerator, going to the numerator is like going inside grouping symbols, right? And what's the first operation? 10 times 8 is 80. And then let's simplify both the numerator and denominator. 81 over 9. And the answer is 9. Really not that hard. And especially because in the end, you know, you will have a calculator to use, and you have a fraction format. It's pretty hard to go wrong on this. Okay, last problem. A group of 12 students volunteers to collect litter for 1 day. A sponsor provides 3 juice drinks and 2 sandwiches for each student and pays $30 for trash bags. The sponsor's cost is given by the expression, right? 12 times parentheses, 3J plus 2S plus 30, okay? Where J and S are variables that stand for juice and sandwich, respectively. Evaluate the sponsor's cost if the juice costs $1.25 and the sandwich costs $2. Okay, so what are you supposed to do with that juice cost and sandwich cost? What do you always do when it says evaluate? You plug them in, right? So in the place of the J, put 125. In the place of the S, put 2. I'm going to do it up here. 12 times 3 times $1.25 plus 2 times 2 and parentheses plus 30. Okay, what are you going to simplify first? By order of operations? Callie? Yeah, I mean, you're going to go inside the parentheses. Now, inside the parentheses where it says 3 parentheses, $1.25, are those parentheses around $1.25 really grouping symbols? It's just another way to express multiplication, right? It's really, there's only one thing in there. There's nothing being grouped, right? So let's not confuse those like they're inner parentheses or anything like that. So this is 12 times, what is 3 times 125? 4. 375, right? And 2 times 2 is 4. We got that one. Plus 30. So that's 12 times 3.75 plus 4. 7.75. Come on. Plus 30. Okay, what's 12 times 775? 93, sounds right. 93 plus 30. What's 123? So the total cost for the sponsor was $123 to have these kids picking up litter. I hope they picked up a lot of litter. Main thing is, you know, you gotta get in the habit. Don't turn away from a word problem like that. You know, read it. We did one in class, you know, that was probably pretty similar to what you might get in a homework problem. You can do it. Okay. Any questions on that problem? Pretty straightforward. Okay. So next slide is the wrap it up. So we simplified expressions. That's what the SOL says to do anyways. At this point, I think we'll have a quiz on the 19th. That'd be for sure. We might have, I think we might end up having some kind of pop quiz in here just to keep you on your toes. What does it say, Tuesday? Maybe sometime in the next 3 days. And the homework is that. So it's got 20 something minutes. You could work on that and be done.